I knew at that point that I was going to be the number one vote. As soon as Fessy won, I looked at Fessy, I said, I know it's time.
Welcome back, guys. Benny Adams here. I got a special guest with me. We're talking all about the challenge, season 38. Rookie Johnny, how's it going, man?
What's up, man? It's a pleasure to be here. Real exciting episode that just dropped. It's crazy to watch back. I'm not gonna lie.
It was insane, man. That elimination was crazy. I was rooting for you, dude. But I want to rewind. I want to talk about your time on the challenge. So even before you got on the challenge, so your first reality show was Love Island. You go on that show. And I guess this is a question I've always had this question for people who go on these reality shows and then go on the challenge. Did you already have your mind set on, I want to be on the challenge when you got cast on Love Island? Is that how it works? People go on these shows and they're like, man, I hope I get on the challenge after this show ends.
Yeah, man. Like going on Love Island, the idea of TV in general was just like, it's not even in my wheelhouse, But when I got that opportunity, I was like, I know that going on the challenge, something that I've always wanted to do, you're basically required to have a TV show under your belt. And when I went on Love Island, I was like, my dream now is to go on the challenge. Now this is giving me my shot one day to go on the challenge. So going on the challenge after Love Island was definitely something I was thinking about.
Nice. And so like you go on the show and you make some big moves, man. You go after the vets and you're like, I want to put my footprint in this game. I want to tell them that, I'm not someone to mess with. And you proved a point because you did win the first daily challenge. Mm-hmm. And so you send in some vets. Do you think, looking back now, do you think making that big move hurt you in this game? Do you think that's the reason why you went home?
I think it definitely put a huge target on our backs, but the target was already there. Just made it a little bit brighter, a little bit bigger. I don't think that I would have changed anything about the way that we moved in our decision, because if you really think about it, we kind of played it pretty even, I think we threw like two vets. We called in two vet pairs, a vet rookie pair, and a rookie pair. So it's pretty balanced with people we called into the deliberation. So if you look at it that way, it is what it is. And really, we used it as a strategy to talk to the vets, kind of get a sense of where they were at. And a lot of the vets like Devin and Tori going into deliberation after our conversation, they knew we didn't have it out for them. And we also didn't know what was going to happen to the four pairs. We only knew that we had to pick one to go down. So there was no blood on our hands. And the way we saw it was like, if Tori and Devin get out, like I like them both as people and as competitors, but those are two vet pairs that could potentially do some damage in this game. And if they get out, the blood's not on our hands. So to be honest, no, I wouldn't change a thing. And I'm not going to go. My whole point was I'm not going to go in here and just pick off some rookies to try and play it safe. Like that's just what I've seen happen in the past. And I think that regardless of what we did, they were going to see us as good competitors. And if vets won, just like we saw after, the next episode, whatever, if vets win, they're going to throw rookies in regardless. So we're going to have to prove ourselves as rookies in elimination. And that's what I was saying in the last episode to Ravyn. I was like, look, regardless, if we go down, we got to prove ourselves. This is a part of it. Going into elimination and coming back out, we're just that much stronger. And I give O's to Ravyn Rochelle for going out of 2 eliminations and, just proving themselves as rookies.
Yeah, like I said, that was an intense elimination. Like all 4 of you did work in that elimination. And that got me thinking, what you said before, they were going to send you in regardless. I feel like even if you didn't send in those bets, I feel like you still would have been that target because you won the first challenge. Yeah. You were a strong rookie. And they said, I think it was Devin, this guy is a strong competitor. We can't have him in the game. But I'm curious, and I want to know what you think about this.
Yeah.
Throughout all the seasons, the veterans are always going after the rookies. And I always thought, why not just keep the rookies? And Wes, he's someone who kind of does this. He kind of befriends the rookies and he keeps them because the rookies, don't have that much experience. So do you think that's a smart move on the vets' part to get rid of the rookies?
Yeah, to be honest, like the vets, they work with each other up until it's time to work against each other, right? But now you're in the final with somebody that's potentially been to a final before, that knows the game. There's, strategists, like they know the challenge. But you get to the final with a rookie, it's like, yo, I've been here before and you haven't. So I understand what you're saying. Like, maybe it is a good idea to let the rookies make it to the finals instead of competing against all these vets that have been here, done this before. But I just know that they feel comfortable getting through the first half with their veterans, because they have such a strong tie to them. That after years and years of relationships, like they know they're gonna have each other's back, So it just gets them through that first hump. Nobody wants to go home early on. It's just easier to get the rookies out, save our skin in the beginning, and I'll take my chances at the end. That's what they're thinking. They're like, you know what? We'll be cool with each other now, but when it comes time to compete for that final, we'll stick around and compete against each other because I know I'll make it with y'all.
Right. And I love this show, but I feel like that it happens every season.
Every time, man.
The vets.
Every time. So I was like, I came in there, I'm like, let me just shake this shit up, man. I don't want to just be I don't want to be a sheep, man. Like if I'm gonna go out like a wolf. A wolf's gonna have to take me out. And that's what Horacio did. He proved himself, and we really fought it. Like, man, that elimination was crazy. I gave it my all, and like he was the better man. And it was so great to watch back. So
insane,
great to watch.
Man. I literally thought when you won that second round, I was like, okay, I think he got this. But I was like, damn, he didn't get it. But yeah. So there's this whole twist this season where these new competitors are coming in. Yep. One of them is, a challenge legend, Johnny Bananas. We got Jordan coming in. What was it like, sharing the screen, being on the same battlegrounds as these two guys?
Man, it was crazy. Like, so we had a sense of, I kind of had a feeling that Johnny Bananas was going to come in the day before he came in. We actually all had a conversation that wasn't on screen, but I was like, I just feel like Johnny Bananas is coming. It only feels right. Like the day before I was going to stand up in elimination and like give my vote someone down to elimination. I just had a feeling that Johnny Bananas was coming in. And obviously his name's Johnny. So I was like, you know what I mean? I'm like, the old Johnny's coming in. It's like out with the old, in with the new. Like, I'm going to take the mantle type shit. And sure enough, he came in and you can feel his presence, you can feel Jordan's presence because they have such experience in this game and such strong alliances and stuff. And you could feel the vets kind of like have a power up, when they walked in, they were like, we're stronger now. And you feel it in the house. You feel the tension like kind of shift. You feel like the power shift. And it's real because they definitely have experience in the game. And you can tell how strategic they are. And you can tell like how wise they are when it comes to the game, especially Johnny, and Jordan,
Were there any vets in the house that you really wanted to work with that you just didn't get a chance to work with?
I didn't think that I had an opportunity to work with anybody. The only one that I can say that I slightly worked with a little bit was Devin and Tori. In deliberation, we talked and we were like, look, if I throw y'all a bone now and I don't put y'all in 100%, scratch my back, given the opportunity if you guys win a challenge moving forward. And I truly took their word for it because they're two, in my opinion, trustworthy people, especially Devin. Like I could really tell he was genuine. And that's something that I was like, I felt good about. But I don't know, man, like it would have been cool to work with the vets, but I don't think they trusted that I would have their back, vice versa.
Yeah. Okay. And so also I wanted to talk about your partner, Ravyn. So there was some drama between you two during this episode where she kind of said that, you kind of made her look bad on TV and she had some other things to say. What are your thoughts on, what she had to say about you on this episode and where do you guys stand now?
Man, it's just the whole situation with Ravyn, my partner, and then Nerese. It's a whole like back and forth thing that I was dealing with the whole time I was in there, man. It was frustrating for sure. And I know it was frustrating for Ravyn too. And, she had her reasons to feel the way she did. And I said it multiple times on the show. Like, sometimes I can make things confusing because there was things that went on between me and Ravyn in the past before the show. But, before we went on there, it was like, look, we're friends. We're going on here as friends. We're going to do this and compete for this money. And we had that understanding. But, her feelings kind of just came back up and she couldn't see. It was hard for her to see me, with another girl. And like, if I'm going to be the way that I'm going to be with women, it's going to come back to bite me in some way. And I just had to deal with it in real time. And this just is what it is. You know what I'm saying? Like, I made my bed, I had to sleep in it, and I had to deal with the emotions that came up on Ravyn's side. It was a little disheartening to hear her say all these things about how she felt disrespected by me. She felt like I wasn't there for her as a partner, because personally, I didn't feel that way at all. But I can't tell anyone how to feel. I can't tell anyone that their feelings aren't valid. So she didn't feel like I was supporting her. Then I'm sorry for that. But, I really felt like I was there for her, and everything that you saw that I had to say about us competing with each other, as far as me motivating her and always staying behind her and like supporting her, that's what I knew was important on the challenge. Like, be there for her, support her, motivate her, reassure her. That's what I was there doing. I was always checking in on her, always making sure she was good, but she wanted a little more, and I wasn't giving that to her, and it really affected her game. And as you can see on all of her confessionals, that's basically all she really had to say every time she was on the screen was, Johnny this, Johnny that, my emotions this, da da da. And it was very frustrating for me, because we had several conversations. We even had a conversation with Nerese where we said, it's water under the bridge, let's move on from here. And then that night, literally, it came back up again. So you can see how it was just a repetitive cycle that we just couldn't get through. And it really did rock her game a lot, because, towards the end, she literally said, like, she's playing this game for herself. She's playing for the $1 million. And that's not any way to be with your partner on a season called Ride or Dies. She gave up on us. And, if she feels like I did that to her, then it is what it is. But I don't feel personally that I brought it there. It's one of those things that's just complicated. And then, everyone is entitled to their own opinion.
So what's your relationship like with Ravyn now?
It's a little rocky, man. Not gonna lie. Because like I said, everyone's entitled to their own opinion, and I feel the way I feel about it, and I've taken accountability for, putting her in that situation. But, she feels the way she feels about it, and it's just never going to change. So we're cordial, we're cool, but I don't think we're ever going to see eye to eye on how things kind of played out. And I feel like, I was very, very honest, and I wore everything on my chest. I told her several times how I felt about her and how I felt about Nerese and my intentions with Nerese and my intentions with her. And I told her, like, look, I'm here with you as a partner to compete for $1 million. And I'm here to do what I want to do as my own person and my own man, and pursue what I want to pursue. And I was very clear to everybody. So to be honest, I've taken accountability for making her feel the way I did, or making her feel the way she did. But at the same time, it's like, for it to go on as much as it did, it was frustrating. So her and I were cool, we're cordial, but that's just something we're never really going to see eye to eye on. And yeah, that's really where it is. It's just like, we're cool, but it's like, I watched that back and I'm like, disrespectful? What? I disrespected you? Because I'm over here thinking, well, sweetheart, babe, I gave you a chance to win $1 million. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? But it's all good though, man. I'm not bitter about it. Like, I'm just so happy for the opportunity to have gone on the challenge, something that I've dreamed about. And I'm just happy that I went in there and I didn't back down from anything. I went out with a bang in one of the most famous eliminations possible in a hall brawl for that. It's cool, man. It is what it is. Me and Ravyn will be cool. It is. I'm not bitter about it. It's all good, man.
Well, speaking of disrespect, we got to talk about Tommy and Elise and how they put you and Ravyn in with two of your closest friends in that house. Did you know that they were making promises to, these two different groups of people? And I guess also them coming from Big Brother, did you expect that? Were you surprised?
Well, see, Annalise and I, we were cool beforehand. We knew each other. We were friends, and prior, this wasn't shown on the show, but that same night at the bar, we kind of all had our talks, and I talked to Annalise and Tommy, and I let them know. I was like, look, what I was trying to do was, for rookies, like, as a whole, say, look, guys, we need to have Ravyn and I and Horacio come back to the house for rookies' sake in general, because we have the most chance at winning daily challenges thus keeping rookies out of elimination altogether, right? So I understand from Annalise and Tommy's perspective, they're looking at it like, it seems a little selfish of me to be coming to them saying, we need to make sure that I come back and Horacio comes back, Olivia comes back, Ravyn comes back for the sake of all the rookies. I was looking at the bigger picture. I knew at that point that I was going to be the number one vote. As soon as Fessy won, I looked at Fessy, I said, I know what time. He knew. I already talked to him about it. And it was like, I knew what time it was, but I was like, look, I think that me and Ravyn have a good chance of winning against Kim and Colleen. We need to come back to the house so we can win another daily challenge and keep winning. That was my thing was, I'm going to just keep winning as much as I can to keep us out of elimination because we're going down regardless. And I thought that Annalise and Tommy had made an agreement with Horacio and Olivia. And that's why when you watched the elimination, they pulled the dagger. We were looking at Annalise and Tommy like, okay, do what you said you were going to do. Do what you said you were going to do. And then sure enough, they said Kim and Colleen, and we were just like, wow, this is crazy. Because now at this point, we know that one of us is going home.
Yeah.
And quite frankly, I knew what time it was because Olivia is a beast, man. And it takes two. And Olivia is a strong girl, and I believed in Ravyn. But, man, it's just, I knew what time it was. I was just like, I'm going to leave it all out here, and I'm just going to, this is it. I felt what was going to happen, but I was like, I'm just going to give it my all, man. Like, it was written in stone, literally.
Right. And speaking of this elimination, you guys are competing in a freaking challenge, elimination, icon status,
Yep.
An upgraded version of it. So like, what was going through your head? Were you excited? Were you pissed off? Were you just feeling all the adrenaline? What were you thinking going in there?
Man, I can't even explain to you really how it felt. Like, you go in there, Fessy called Ravyn and I's name, like, you guys are going down for sure. At this point, it's game time. I knew I was going to have to compete. I knew I was going to have to run someone over. Like, it was like, I'm going to go in here and I'm going to hurt somebody. That was my mentality. I'm going to, when Horacio was standing across from me, I'm going to take this bar, I'm going to shove it through his chest and just completely annihilate him. And I know he was thinking the same exact thing. And that's why we respect each other so much. Like that, Horacio, that's my boy. And it was just good, respectful, honest competition. Best man wins. And as soon as we clashed in the middle and it was a stalemate, I was shocked because I thought I was going to run him over. That was my mentality. And when we met in the middle, we were, as a viewer, you can't see how long it was, but it literally, for us, felt like 5 minutes. Standing there in the middle, just going nowhere. And at a certain point, I was like, look, if I keep going right now, I'm not going to have anything left for the next round. So at one point, you kind of just see me like, and he just took it. And I look up, Ravyn fighting. And Olivia just not easily, but you saw the power in Olivia's legs. She just pushed her back. And after that, I was like, I gotta take another one. I have to win this next round. And I looked at Ravyn and she just looked so defeated. And that didn't faze me in how hard I was gonna try, because at this point, this is my reputation on the challenge. Like, how is Johnny going to prove himself in this position? One man against one man, how is he going to perform? That's what I was thinking. Even though I could tell Ravyn was defeated, and at that point, after we lost that first round, I knew what time it was, because when I saw that Ravyn looked defeated, second round, I came back and won. I knew that Ravyn was going to be up top again, and the girls had to finish. And even like knowing that the girls had to finish, and I knew that Ravyn just wasn't in it, I was like, we're going home, because she had no fight left in her. And she says that a lot of it comes from the fact that we had a lot of shit going on between us, and there's a lot of drama, all that. But for me, it doesn't click for me. That doesn't click for me, because I came here to compete for $1 million. So for me, it literally just didn't even make sense that could affect your game in that way when we're talking about $1 million here. But once again, I understand. And if I did anything to make her feel that way, I'm sorry. But I think that I left it all out there. And that second round where I came back and pushed him back, that was the hardest fight of my life. There was nothing that was going to stop me from pushing him back. And we tied it up. When I walked down that ladder, my legs feel like jelly. And I was like, this is it. I got to just give it all I got at this last round. And I know everyone saw when I went in there. I don't know if you could tell as a viewer, but it was raining a little bit. And some of the scenes you could see it was kind of drizzling. So it was drizzling a little bit. So it was a little wet in there and the sand on the shoes.
Is that why you slipped a little bit? Did you slip?
Yeah.
It makes sense now. Okay.
The thing is, like, there's no excuse because, it's fair. He was on the same platform, whatever, but I slipped that last round. I went in there, I slipped and fell to my knees and caught the ball right in front of my face. And I was just like, this is it. And I was just trying as hard as I could and just couldn't pull it off. And I looked up and I saw Ravyn just get pushed back. And I was just like, wow, that feeling right there, like it, knowing that it's actually over after all this time, like all the interviews leading up to the show, all like am I going to go on? Am I going to make the cast? To finally walking in the house and to going to all the deliberations, winning the first challenge and meeting, like being there with all my boys, with Jay, like seeing all these veterans and everything that happened, witnessing all the drama, everything that happened with me and my partner, everything that happened with me and Reese, it's all just done in a blink of an eye, And it's just like, it's so crazy to take all in. But the way that I felt, it wasn't necessarily like sadness. It was just like a sense of accomplishment. I proved something to myself. And also just like a feeling of like, you know what? I want to come back so bad to prove myself time and time again. And like, just keep building my legacy. You know what I mean? Like, it was such a crazy experience. Like literally at the end, it was kind of like, it was bittersweet for sure. Like I had a smile on my face. I was just, I'm proud of us. We did what we had to do. And what was meant to happen, happened. And I don't have any regrets. And I'm happy with how hard I tried. I'm happy. I don't feel like I failed myself in any way, So
you definitely gave it your own. I think all the viewers can agree with that. That was a good elimination to watch. I know everyone was like, who's gonna win this one? If you say you did win that elimination, what would you have done once you got back into the house? Would you have gotten back at Tommy and Annalise? Like, what would your goals have been?
Going back into the house, if I would have won, man, it's crazy because I never really thought about that. It was, I said it before elimination. I said, if I go back in the house, it's vengeance. I'm coming back in to win the next challenge, gain power, and then do what they just did to us. They threw in four rookie pairs. If I would have won, I would have thrown in all the big dogs. You know what I mean? And that, I feel like that's respect, because they would have done it to us every single week. They would have done this every single week. And I just came there to say, like, I don't care about what's supposed to happen in y'all's mind. I'm going to play the game how I want to play it, regardless of what the tradition is. I'm here to shake shit up and to make y'all uncomfortable. And the vets were uncomfortable having me there, which is why they wanted me gone. They would have been happy with either one of us going home, me and Horacio or Olivia or me and Ravyn. They wanted one of the strong rookie pairs gone, and they got what they wanted. So I would have went back in the house and, I would have had my couple of things to say to Annalise and Tommy, which shout out to Annalise and Tommy. We're cool now. You know what I'm saying? We've been out, we talk, and there's no bad blood between us. We're all cool. Like, I understand they were playing for themselves and it makes sense to me. No hard feelings. Fessy and Mariah, all good. We're cool. But at the time, when they threw us down, they weren't on my hit list. But they would have been if I would have came back in the house, because now you got blood on your hands. But yeah, I would have just righted all the wrongs. I would have just came back, tried to win a challenge, throw down some big names again. I would have just kept being a menace. I just wanted to make people uncomfortable, throw people down, get the big dogs out, and just try and turn the tide.
Nice. And last question for you, man. So I already know that you want to come back on the challenge, and I'm sure we're going to see you again. Like, I will be shocked if we don't see you again. But I want to know, you got to compete with, so many people who have been on the show for years. Who was someone that wasn't on this season that you would have really loved to compete with?
This guy's not a veteran. He's not a veteran, but my roommate, actually, Jeremiah, he was on 37.
That's right.
Jeremiah, we've been saying like we wanted to go on 37 together. It didn't work out that way. He was on 37, I was on 38. If Jeremiah and I went on together, that would just be a blessing. It would be cool, you know what I'm saying? Have my boy there. But it would have been cool to have been around CT. CT's a crazy competitor. Just to witness that, it would have been amazing. But I don't necessarily want to compete against that monster. But it would have been cool. It would have been cool to be around them, for sure. But other than that, man, I'm ready to compete against anybody. Like I'm going in there to play my own game, and I'm just very happy to have had the opportunity to compete against the people that I did get to compete against. Johnny Bananas, got to compete with Jay, my boy. You know, he was such a crazy component to my game because he has a lot of knowledge from the prior seasons that he was on, and going in there being friends with him, like he was just kind of putting me on game, like, you know, giving me tips and tricks, whatever. Nelson, that's my boy too. We knew each other going into the show. He was definitely just giving me like, you know, we weren't necessarily allies because he's not going to stick his neck out for me, but he was definitely like, hey man, like what you're doing is cool and all, but maybe you should chill out a little bit. You know what I'm saying? Like he was trying to give me little tips and tricks and stuff like that. Fessy, he's cool, even though he threw me down. Devin, shout out to Devin, smart as hell, cool ass dude. I've seen him on the outside ever since the show. Really cool, respect the hell out of him. Tori and Anissa, they're cool and funny. But yeah, I mean, I'm just it was a pleasure. It was a pleasure. And being on there with some of the people that I really liked, like Olivia and Horacio, all respects to them. Like, I'm so glad that they were the ones to eliminate us because I love them both. Olivia, she's from my Love Island family. Horacio and I, we knew each other before the show. And it's just, it was kind of poetic the way we ended up leaving. And I'm just happy that everything turned out the way it did.
Yeah, and like I said, you gave it your all. I'm pretty sure I can speak for a lot of the viewers that, you know, we respect your gameplay because you came to play the game and you played hard. Thank you so much for coming on and talking with me, man. Any final words for your fans?
For all the people saying Johnny got what he deserves, bite your tongue, y'all. Like, this is what y'all wanted to see. Y'all know it. Y'all know you're tired of the narrative that keeps getting played and played every season after every season. Y'all needed me to change up the game. And that's what I did. I came here to make a fucking point, and I did that. And look, if y'all didn't like it, tough luck, but I did what I came to do, and I have no regrets.
Hey, those are some great party words, man.
And look, and good luck to the rest of the season, man. I'm excited to see how it all played out because I don't even know because I'm gone. I didn't get to see what happened. So good luck to my people out there. I hope everyone, you know, gave it their all. I hope everyone just had a good time and the season went great after I left.
Nice. Well, I hope we see you on season 39. Thank you guys for tuning in and watching. I'm Benny Adams, and I will see you guys later.